Yeah, we are live now. I would request all to just switch off the videos, please. Parul, you may start.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar on the Navigating India's Capital Market Trends and Insights. So myself, CA Parul Shah, and I'm honored to host this session on behalf of Shri Wagad Graduate Association. The capital markets play a crucial role in the global economy. Today, we will discuss the major challenges faced by the investors, opportunities of investments in the future markets, global market trends, and many more points. So, we have gathered our prominent speakers, CA Vikram Kotak and CA Preeti Savla, who will give us the informative knowledge about their topics. So, before we begin and before we start, I would like to say the few points. This webinar will last approximately 1 hour 30 minutes. And first we will 30 for 40 minutes Vikram by speech will be there. અને પછી આપણે question answer session લઈ લેશું. So I will request each and every કે જો બી કોઈને questions હોય તો એ please drop box માં chat માં નાખી શકે છે. અને our whole program is live on the YouTube. So thank you for joining us today. So let's get started this program. So now I will request our SVGA committee member, CA Mayur Nisar, to formally introduce our first speaker, CA Vikram Bhai Kotak.
Hello, everyone. Mr. Vikram Kotak is a co-founder and managing partner of Ace Lansdowne Investments. It is one of the largest European hedge funds to start an AIF and offshore fund as well as asset management business in India. Mr. Kotak is a qualified chartered accountant and has also completed a senior management program school. He is over experience in financial markets. He has successful and teams in equity and fixed income segments. Mr. Kotak served as Chief Investment Officer, Equities in Deutsche Asset Management Company and was responsible for advising over $1.2 billion assets in equity. With an experience spanning 7 years, beginning in 2005, Mr. Kotak as a Chief Investment Officer in Birla Sun Life Insurance grew the AUM from around 220 million to $4 billion. He has also served in Birla Sun Life Securities Limited from the year 1996 to 2003 as the head of fixed income business. Mr. Kotak has served various committees such as IRDA, Bombay Chamber of Commerce, SEBI, Bombay Stock Exchange, and many more. He has also co-authored a book, Next Gen CA, Getting Future Ready. He is also a very famous and prominent speaker in majority of the business TV shows. So, Mr. Kotak, we are very glad to have you here, and we are all ears to listen to the insights from the deep experience that you have in the chapter. I would request you to take over. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayur Bhai. I just want to recheck my audio quality. Is all I'm audible properly? Thank you. Super. So first of all, thank you everyone for joining. Thank you SVGA for inviting me. Thank you Shantilal Bhai, Chetan Bhai, Parul, Mayur Bhai. And thank you Preeti Ben for inviting me as always to your chat show. What I'll try to do is I'll try to speak for say 30-35 minutes or so. And I'm happy to take any questions from your end. The only disclaimer for the questions is that I don't talk about specific stock, but Preeti Ben has requested me कि एक तो tip આપવી પડશે. So I'll give one stock tip. I'll give one tip at the end. So 8 tip મારા તરફથી free છે આજે અને હું normally stocks પર વાત નથી કરતો. So that is the only thing I'll keep away. બાકી કોઈ પણ સેક્ટરમાં કે મેક્રો ઇકોનોમિક કે કોઈ currency related question હશે તો I'll be very happy to answer that. So let me start with India. So India, as I always say on TV channels and also in the many of the speech I give at various places, that India right now is a shining star in the world, which is actually kind of getting little bleak, or I can say black. In that, India looks like a shining star. What are the reasons of India being a shining star today? Is it Mr. Modi? Is it young entrepreneurs? It is the just to work hard to achieve something. What are the factors? So there are 6 factors about why India is looking very good. People cannot take away credit from Mr. Modi and the BJP, but at the same time, there are 6 variable which is driving India to a very different place. That 6 variables are all D, fortunately. So I started the first variable, which is the daring. So India has a very, very, how India is, baniye ka dimag, and you being a Wagar population, how hardworking, how, kind of strong in terms of business sense, in terms of profitability numbers, all people will be very, very. So India is actually a country or kingdom of the entrepreneurs. So India worked very hard. I know my European friends, my JV partners. ગુરુવારે સાંજે 4 વાગે એટલે એ લોકો કામ બંધ થઈ જાય અને બિયર પાર્ટીમાં ચાલ્યા જાય. શુક્રવારે કદાચ કામ જ ન કરે. અને આપણે ત્યાં સેટરડે હોય કે આજે ફ્રાઈડે રાત છે તો બધા બેઠા છે 7:30 વાગે. વી આર એકચ્યુઅલી listening to what is going to happen in the capital market. So India is a very hardworking country. So that's the first thing, the daring entrepreneurship of India, which is I think the main reason why India is doing well. બીજું રીઝન જે સૌથી ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ છે ઇન્ડિયાની ડેમોગ્રાફી, જે અગેન આપણે નેચરલી વી આર હેપી, વી આર લકી એટ ધીસ ટાઈમ વી ઓલ બોર્ન, કે ઇન્ડિયાની ડેમોગ્રાફી અત્યારે વર્લ્ડની અમંગ ધ યંગેસ્ટ ડેમોગ્રાફીમાં આવે છે. એનો મતલબ કે ઇન્ડિયાની પોપ્યુલેશન વધારે યંગ છે, જેને હજી ઘણું બધું સારું જોવાનું બાકી છે. વી જસ્ટ સ્ટાર્ટેડ ધી કસ્ટ. તો આજે પણ 58% ઓફ ઇન્ડિયન પોપ્યુલેશન ઇઝ બિલો 30. So that numbers are looking very, very big compared to the વર્લ્ડ, જ્યાં બધી ઇકોનોમીમાં આપણે જોઈએ છીએ કે એજિંગ થઈ રહ્યું છે. યુરોપમાં પર્ટિક્યુલરલી જોઈએ, કેનેડામાં જોઈએ, આપણે ચાઇનામાં જોઈએ, થોડું ચાલુ થઈ ગયું છે. જાપાન ઇઝ વેરી, વેરી ઓલ્ડ. સો આ બધી કન્ટ્રીઓ ઓલ્ડ થતી જાય છે અને આપણે હજી યંગ છીએ. તો એક મોટો એડવાન્ટેજ ડેમોગ્રાફિકનો છે, વિચ ઇઝ સેકન્ડ ડી. ત્રીજો ડી છે ડિમાન્ડ. ડેમોગ્રાફી શું કરે કે ડિમાન્ડ જનરેટ કરે. આજે યંગ છોકરો છે જે કોલેજમાં જાય છે, ઓર યંગ person who is in school will go into college, will finish his education, will come to earning કરશે તો સામે સ્પેન્ડ કરશે, તો એ ઓટોમેટિકલી ડિમાન્ડ જનરેટ કરે છે. Penetration always brings demand. Young population and penetration, lower penetration of demography always bring more and more demand. So I think our demand levels are strong. આજે તમે જુઓ કે કોઈ પણ કન્ટ્રીમાં આટલા વોશિંગ મશીન નથી વેચાતા, કે આટલા ટીવીઝ નથી વેચાતા, કે આટલી કાર નથી વેચાતી, આટલા બાઇક્સ નથી વેચાતા. તો ઇન્ડિયાનું પોપ્યુલેશન જે છે તો 1,40,00,000 140 કરોડનું પોપ્યુલેશન છે, એના ઉપર યંગ પોપ્યુલેશન છે. સો બે એડવાન્ટેજ થઈ રહ્યા છે અને એનો જે ફાયદો આપણને મળી રહ્યો છે કે આપણે આજે ગમે એટલું આગળ વધીએ પણ હજી આપણા પેનિટ્રેશન લેવલ હજી બહુ ઓછા છે. જે આપણે મોર્ગેજ ટુ જીડીપી રેશિયો જોઈએ આપણો, તો આપણે હજી 14-15% પર છીએ. તમે ચાઇના જુઓ તો 80% પર છે. તમે વોશિંગ મશીન ઓનરશિપ જુઓ તો હજી 12%ની નીચે છે. 12% ફેમિલી પાસે વોશિંગ મશીન છે, જે આજે લક્ઝરી ન કહેવાય. એસી 10%ની આજુબાજુ છે. બાઇક્સ આર અગેન એટ દેટ રેન્જ. સો આપણું હજી પણ પેનિટ્રેશન લેવલ બહુ નીચે છે હજી પણ. તો એ મોટો એડવાન્ટેજ છે. એનો ફાયદો શું થાય કે જેટલા પણ એરિયાઝ છે જ્યાં માણસોને ઇન્કમ આવવાની ચાલુ થશે, દે આર ગોઈંગ ટુ સ્પેન્ડ મોર ઓન ડિફરન્ટ એરિયાઝ. સો જે માણસ પાસે બાઇક હશે એ બેટર બાઇક લેશે, ઓર એને કાર એસ્પાયર કરશે. જેની પાસે નાની કાર હશે એ મોટી કાર લેશે. એટલે આ જે ડેમોગ્રાફીનો એડવાન્ટેજ જે છે એ પેનિટ્રેશનમાં કન્વર્ટ થશે અને પેનિટ્રેશન કન્ઝમ્પશનમાં કન્વર્ટ થશે. તો દેટ ઇઝ ધ થર્ડ વેરી, વેરી ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ ડી ઓફ ઇન્ડિયા. ચોથો જે ડી છે ઇન્ડિયાનો, જે હજી વધારે ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ છે, જે છે ડિજિટલ. ઇન્ડિયાએ છેલ્લા 10 થી 15 વર્ષમાં બહુ મોટી પ્રગતિ કરી છે. ડન વેરી વેલ ઇન ટર્મ્સ ઓફ ડિજિટાઇઝેશન ઓફ ધ કન્ટ્રી. We start from income tax department, faceless, filing of return. આપણે પેમેન્ટ સાઇટ જોઈએ, યુપે જોઈએ, કે આપણે ઈ-કોમર્સ જોઈએ, કે આપણે દરેક એરિયામાં ડિજિટાઇઝેશન હેઝ પ્લેડ અ વેરી લાર્જ રોલ. આજથી 10 વર્ષ પહેલા શાયદ આપણને ખબર નહોતી કે ફૂડ ડિલિવરી શું છે. અને આજે ફૂડ ડિલિવરી તો ઠીક છે, આપણે ક્વિક કોમર્સ પર આવી ગયા છે કે આપણને ઘરે દિવાળીમાં જો આપણને દીવા ખૂટતા હોય તો 20 મિનિટમાં આપણને દીવા આપણને બ્લેન્કેટ વાળો કે આપણને ઝેપ્ટો વાળો આપી શકે છે. એટલે મારું કહેવાનો મતલબ એ છે કે આજે જે ઈ કોમર્સ, જે ટેકનોલોજી ઇન્ડિયાને એડવાન્ટેજ આપ્યો છે, એ એડવાન્ટેજ ઘણો મોટો છે. મને યાદ છે એમેઝોને આજથી 15 વર્ષ પહેલા કે 16 યર પહેલા ઇન્ડિયામાં શરૂઆત કરી હતી, ત્યારે એમને પહેલું વેરહાઉસ 1.1 લાખ સ્ક્વેર ફીટનું લીધું હતું. આજે એમેઝોન પાસે 5 કરોડ સ્ક્વેર ફીટનું વેરહાઉસ છે 11 કે 12 વર્ષ. ઇટ્સ ધ ફાસ્ટેસ્ટ ગ્રોઈંગ એમેઝોન અક્રોસ ધ ગ્લોબ, વિચ ઇઝ ઇન્ડિયા. સો ઈ કોમર્સ, ક્વિક કોમર્સ, ફૂડ ડિલિવરી, યુપે, ગૂગલ પે, વોટ એવર યુ સે, બધી જગ્યાએ ઇન્ડિયાનો એક મોટો ફાયદો થયો છે. અને માણસો સસ્તા એરટાઈમ, સસ્તા મોબાઈલના જે આપણે ડેટાના કોસ્ટ છે એના લીધે સૌથી મોટી પ્રગતિ મોબાઈલે કરી છે. એના લીધે દરેક ચીજ, એવરીથિંગ ઇઝ પોસિબલ ઓન મોબાઈલ ઓર ઓન યોર લેપટોપ. સો આજે કોવિડનો એક્ઝામ્પલ લઈએ કે કોવિડમાં જ્યારે મને યાદ નથી કેટલા લોકો ઇક્વિટી ટ્રેડ કરતા હતા જે આજે કરે છે, અને કોવિડમાં તમે જુઓ તો પીપલ આર સિટિંગ ફ્રી, દે ડોન્ટ હેવ એનીથિંગ ટુ ડુ, એન્ડ પીપલ સ્ટાર્ટેડ getting into the mobile driven trading or investing. And look at the opportunity, look at the way this whole revolution happened in India. Same for SIP. SIP પણ જે આપણે જોઈએ છેલ્લા 15-20 વર્ષમાં જે SIP નો ગ્રોથ થયો છે ઇઝ અનઇમેજિનેબલ, અને જેનો મેજર મારા હિસાબે ફાળો જે કહીએ એ ડિજિટલ છે, કારણ કે ડિજિટલ થયા પછી ઇટ બીકમ સો ઇઝી એન્ડ હેન્ડી ફોર પીપલ ટુ ડુ ઇટ. ઇટ વોઝ સો સિમલેસ, કારણ કે એક વર્ષમાં KYC એક્સચેન્જીસ કરતા હતા, જ્યારે આપણે સાંભળ્યું જ નહોતું ઇન કોવિડ ટાઈમ. સો કોવિડ and digitalization has actually helped this country in a very, very different zone. પાંચમો ડી છે ડિસિપ્લિન. મારે એક ચીજ કહેવી પડે કે ગવર્મેન્ટે છેલ્લા 10 વર્ષમાં ઘણું બધું કામ સારું કર્યું છે. હવે ડિસિપ્લિનમાં આપણે જોઈએ તો ફિસ્કલ ડેફિસિટ જે બહુ મોટો કન્સર્ન બધા કન્ટ્રીઓને હોય છે, જેમાં કન્ટ્રીએ ઘણો મોટો આપણે કહે છે રોલ ભજવ્યો છે, અને આપણે જોઈએ તો ફિસ્કલ ડેફિસિટ યર ઓવર યર નીચે આવી રહી છે, અને ક્વોલિટી ઓફ સ્પેન્ડ હેઝ ઇમ્પ્રુવડ અ લોટ. પહેલા આપણે સબસિડીમાં પૈસા આપતા હતા, જેમાં ઘણા લીકેજ થતા હતા. હવે ડીબીટી અને ડિજિટલ પેમેન્ટના પછી સબસિડી હજી પણ અપાય છે અમુક એરિયામાં, પણ એ ડિસિપ્લિન વેમાં રાઈટ માણસોને જાય છે, તો એ જે લીકેજ ઓછા થઈ ગયા. બીજો એક સૌથી મોટો થિંગ વિચ ઇન્ડિયા હેઝ ડન ઇન લાસ્ટ 10 years વિચ ઇઝ વેરી ક્રેડિબલ. આરબીઆઈએ ઘણું સારું કામ કર્યું છે ડિસિપ્લિનમાં. તમે જુઓ તો ઇન્ડિયામાં લાસ્ટ 10 years ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ રેટ્સ હેવ નોટ મૂવડ અપ. અને વર્લ્ડમાં તમે કોઈ પણ ઇકોનોમી ખોલો, જે ડેવલપ ઇકોનોમી હોય, interest rates have actually gone up. So let me take example of US or Canada or UK. Say UK આજથી 10 વર્ષ પહેલા interest rates mortgage પર, housing loan પર was 2%. Today it is around 7.5 to 9%, depend upon which kind of credit quality of borrower you are in. આપણા બોરિંગ રેટ્સ આજથી 20 વર્ષ પહેલા, આજથી 30 વર્ષ પહેલા, જ્યારે મને યાદ છે, I took my first loan from HDFC way back in 1998, which is 26 years before. I paid 18% interest on mortgage. Today we are paying around 8.5% interest on mortgage. Even છેલ્લા 10 વર્ષમાં આપણા ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ રેટ મોર્ગેજના લગભગ 9-10%થી 8% પર આવ્યા છે. અને આજે તમે યુકે જુઓ કે US જુઓ કે કેનેડા જુઓ, their interest rate actually had moved up from 2-3% mortgage to around 7-8-9%, depend upon which country you are or which credit quality borrower you are. તો 6-7%નો જે જમ્પ ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ રેટમાં દુનિયામાં થયો છે, જે ઇન્ડિયામાં ફ્લેટ રહ્યા છે, કાં થોડા નીચે જ આવ્યા છે. તો સ્ટ્રક્ચરલ જે બુલ રન કહેવાય ઇન્ડિયાનો, ઇન ટર્મ્સ ઓફ ઇકોનોમી, ઇન ટર્મ્સ ઓફ એક્વિટી માર્કેટ, ઇન ટર્મ્સ ઓફ અર્નિંગ્સ, એમાં ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ રેટનો બહુ મોટો ફાળો છે, ફિસ્કલ ડેફિસિટનો બહુ મોટો ફાળો છે. કારણ કે ફિસ્કલ ડેફિસિટ અગર નીચે આવતી રહે તો ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ રેટ ઉપર ન જાય. ઇન્ફ્લેશન અગર વેલ મેનેજ હોય તો ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ રેટ ઉપર ન જાય. તો ઇન્ડિયાએ આ એરિયામાં બહુ સારું કામ કર્યું છે. આઈ મસ્ટ ગીવ ધીસ ક્રેડિટ ટુ our Prime Minister, who has really done a good job in terms of disciplining the economy, in terms of everything, income tax payment, you can say, the GST, the RERA, every reform, Jan Dhan Yojana has helped the country in a very different manner. So I must say discipline is also very, very integral part of the India's bull run or India's growth story. Now, last, which is most important and which we have not done yet, is just required in D, is disruption. India આજે ઇનોવેશનના બારામાં કે ડિસ્રપ્શનના બારામાં હજી પણ ઘણું પાછળ છે. એવું નથી કે ઇન્ડિયા ઇઝ નોટ ડુઈંગ ઇનોવેશન ઓર ડિસ્રપ્શન, બટ વેન આઈ લુક એટ ધ વેસ્ટર્ન વર્લ્ડ, ઇન્ડિયા ઇઝ વેરી, વેરી ફાર. આજે પણ ઇન્ડિયા આટલું મોટું આઈટી સેક્ટર છે, પણ આજે આપણે વર્લ્ડની બેક ઓફિસ ગણાઈએ છીએ. આપણે વી આર નોટ વર્લ્ડ્સ ફ્રન્ટ ઓફિસ. વી આર નોટ જનરેટેડ ઓર ક્રિએટેડ એપલ in-house in the country, or YouTube in the country, or Instagram in the country, or Google in the country, or Facebook in the country. We are still dependent on the West. So West is spending, particularly America, is spending a lot of money in the research, development, disruption, innovation, which India is very, very far. So I think that area is a very big missing in India, and that will have a huge impact on India's future. Okay, if you are not able to create a make in India kind of thing across the board, then we cannot really build this country in a different way. ગઈકાલે જ હું એક મિટિંગમાં હતો, અનિલ અગરવાલ જે વેદાંતાના ચેરમેન છે, તેમણે લગભગ 30 ઇન્વેસ્ટરને બોલાવેલા, અને એમનો એક જ પોઈન્ટ હતો કે ઇન્ડિયામાં હજી પણ ઘણા બધા રિફોર્મ્સ થવાના બાકી છે, જે હું ફૂલ્લી માનું છું. અને એ કે ઇન્ડિયામાં એટલું બધું મિનરલ્સ છે, માઇન્સ છે, એટલી બધી ઓઇલ એક્સપ્લોરેશનની ઓપોર્ચ્યુનિટી છે, પણ આપણે હજી ગવર્મેન્ટ અને જે આપણે કહીએ ને કન્સેન્સસ બિલ્ડિંગ જે કહેવાય ડેમોક્રેસીમાં, that is hurting us a lot. So that is the one reason which I will highlight, say, that disruption is very important. I must say good thing about કે આજે એક સ્ટેપ આ પર્ટિક્યુલર બજેટમાં સારું થયું કે તમે જોયું તો ઇનોવેશન ફંડ નિર્મલા સીતારામને લોન્ચ કર્યું છે કે 50,000 કરોડનું ઇનોવેશન ફંડ એ લોકોએ સાઇટ પર મૂક્યું છે. હવે આ લોકો કેટલું સક્સેસફુલી કરી શકે છે, કેવી રીતે કરી શકે છે મને ખબર નથી, પણ દેટ્સ અ વેરી ગુડ સાઇન. કારણ કે અમેરિકામાં મેં જોયું છે, આઈ સે વિથ માય એક્સપિરિયન્સ, મારો સન અમેરિકામાં ભણ્યો છે, કેમિકલ એન્જિનિયર થયો છે. આઈ મસ્ટ સે દેટ 30-40% સ્ટુડન્ટ ડોન્ટ ગો ટુ જોબ. આપણે ત્યાં શું છે કે સીએ થયા કે એમબીએ થયા તો આપણે પહેલા જોબ ગોતીએ કે આપણે ફાધરના બિઝનેસમાં જોડાઈએ, પણ આ લોકો ન ફાધરના બિઝનેસમાં જાય ન એ લોકો જોબ કરે. એ લોકો કંઈ નવી એક્ટિવિટી કરે જે લોકોનું પેશન હોય, જે આપણે ત્યાં મિસિંગ છે. આપણે ત્યાં જે હજી પણ ફાઇનાન્શિયલ ભાગદોડ છે, કેરિયર બનાવીને પૈસા કમાવો અને તો છોકરી મળશે, સારી છોકરી મળશે, એ હજી જે કસ્ટમ્સ છે ઇન્ડિયાના એ હજી ઓછા નથી થયા. તો એમાંથી બહાર આવવાનું છે. અને ઇન્ડિયા હેઝ ટુ કાઇન્ડ ઓફ સ્ટાર્ટ થિંકિંગ અબાઉટ ધ ફ્રીડમ, innovation. People have to look at something different than what they're doing today. નહીં તો normally મને યાદ છે when I become CA in 1994, the only course which was available to be a successful commerce professional is the CA. There's nothing else. There's no CFA, there's no MBA. Today, luckily, we have many courses, but we are nowhere near to what is happening in the West, what is happening in the different part of the world. અને ત્યાંની યુનિવર્સિટીઓ છે, ત્યાંના એન્ડાઉમેન્ટ ફંડ્સ છે, they sponsor the innovation. They sponsor the risk which a young 23-25-year-old boy want to take it. જે આપણે ત્યાં મિસિંગ છે, and I personally believe that's going to be the biggest opportunity if we really break this disruption side of the model. That is the 6 Ds of India, which is actually taking us to a very different level of market bull run, and it is more structural in nature. ઘણા બધા લોકો મને પૂછે છે કે આ બુલ રન આટલું જોરથી ચાલે છે, ફાસ્ટ ચાલે છે, આ ઊભું રહેશે, શું થશે, શું નેક્સ્ટ સ્ટેપ શું છે? અને દરેક લેવલ પર 23,000 ઇન્ડેક્સમાં ડર લાગે છે, 24માં ડર લાગે છે, 25માં ડર લાગે છે, 26માં ડર લાગશે. તો એ ડર રહેવાનો છે, પણ આ મારા હિસાબે બહુ લાંબી સ્ટ્રક્ચરલ બુલ રન છે. અને જે બુલ રન કદાચ આવતા 10-15 વર્ષ સુધી ચાલ્યા કરશે. એનો મતલબ એમ નથી કે કાલે કરેક્શન નહીં આવે, કે આવતા મહિનામાં કરેક્શન નહીં આવે, પણ આ 15 વર્ષની સાયકલ છે જ્યાં ઇન્ડિયાનું જે આ 6 ડી મેં તમને કીધા એ 6 ડી ડ્રાઈવ કરવાના છે આ ઇન્ડિયાને. અને એમાંથી એકાદ ડી કદાચ આગળ પાછળ રહી જાય તો એ 5 ડી ઇનફ છે કે ઇન્ડિયાને 6-7% જીડીપી ગ્રોથ વર્ષે વર્ષે અપાવી શકે, 5-6% ઇન્ફ્લેશન ગ્રોથ થશે. એટલે નોમિનલ જીડીપી આપણે જોઈએ તો 12-13%નું ઇન્ડિયાનો નોમિનલ જીડીપી 11-12% આવશે. અને જે કોર્પોરેટ એફિશિયન્સીઝની જે અર્નિંગ એફિશિયન્સી આપણે પ્લે આઉટ થાય તો એમાં 15-17%નો ઇન્ડિયાનો અર્નિંગ ગ્રોથ આવતા 10-12-15 વર્ષ સુધી મને લાગે છે ચાલશે. એનું કારણ એ છે કે આપણી ડેમોગ્રાફી જે છે એ 2038 કે 40 સુધી સનરાઈઝ પર છે. ઇન ધ સેન્સ ઇટ ઇઝ અ પોઝિટિવ વન. આજે ચાઇનાએ 2020 પછી જોયું કે ડેમોગ્રાફી સનસેટ પર ચાલુ થઈ છે સ્લોલી, જે ઇન્ડિયામાં 2038-40 પછી ચાલુ થશે, અનલેસ વી અલાઉ મેની ફોરેનર્સ ટુ કમ એન્ડ સ્ટે ઇન ઇન્ડિયા, જે આપણે ત્યાં થવાનું નથી. એટલે આપણે ત્યાં ઇન્ડિયન્સ જ રહેવાના છે. તો એ ડેમોગ્રાફી 2037-38-39 સુધી ચાલુ રહેશે. ત્યાર સુધી આપણે જોવાનું છે કે આ બુલરન ચાલુ રહેશે. કદાચ એકાદ કરેક્શન આવે, ક્યારેક કંઈ સ્કેમ થાય, ક્યારેક કંઈ ફ્યુચર્સમાં ઇસ્યુ થાય, ક્યારે બીજું કંઈ થાય, પણ મોટા મોટી હું તમને કહી દઉં કે ઇન્ડિયાનું જે ફ્યુચર છે બ્રાઇટ છે, અને એમાં આઈ ડોન્ટ સી એની ડાઉટ ઇન દેટ. મેં તમને કીધું પેનિટ્રેશન લેવલ્સ આર સો લો કે આપણે હજી તો 80-90% વોશિંગ મશીન પેનિટ્રેશન પર જવા માટે તો ઘણું દૂર છીએ. હજી આપણા ડેટાના જે રેટ છે હજી આપણે 3G ને 4G ની વચ્ચે રમી રહ્યા છીએ. આપણે 5G જશું તો આજે ઘણી બધી ઓપોર્ચ્યુનિટીઝ ઇન્ડિયામાં અક્રોસ ધ એરિયા છે. આ ઇન્ડિયાની બારામાં કહું છું. આજે પણ આપણે ડેટા જોઈએ, હાઈ ફ્રિકવન્સી ડેટા જે આપણે કહીએ, જીએસટી કલેક્શન છે કે એસઆઈપી ફ્લોઝ છે કે ઈ-વે કલેક્શન છે કે રેલવેના ફ્રેટનું ડેટા છે કે એડવાન્સ ટેક્સ કલેક્શન છે, એ હાઈ ફ્રિકવન્સી ડેટા ઇઝ હેલ્ધી. ઇટ ઇઝ શોઈંગ સમ સ્લો ડાઉન, બટ ઓવરઓલ હેલ્ધી છે. અને મને એવું લાગે છે આ ડેટા હેલ્ધી રહ્યા કરશે આવતા ઘણા વર્ષો માટે. તો આપણે ત્યાં બહુ ડરવાની જરૂર નથી. ફંડામેન્ટલ સાઇડ કન્ટ્રીનું ફંડામેન્ટલ બહુ સ્ટ્રોંગ છે. આપણે જે ડરવાનું છે એ આપણે બીજો એરિયા છે, હું એના પર આવીશ, કે આપણી ગ્રીડ અને આપણી જે વે ઓફ મેકિંગ મની એ આપણે ડરવાની, ત્યાં આપણે થોડું ટાઈમ સ્પેન્ડ કરશું. નેક્સ્ટ પોઈન્ટ જે મારો છે, જે રિસ્ક કયા છે. ઘણા બધા લોકો કહે છે વિક્રમભાઈ બધું બરાબર છે, 26,000, 25,000, 40,000 જે થશે થશે, પણ રિસ્ક શું છે આ દુનિયા આપણે કન્ટ્રીમાં? મારા હિસાબે સૌથી મોટા 3 થી 4 રિસ્ક છે અત્યારે, જે રિસ્ક કદાચ આજથી 5 વર્ષ પહેલા નહોતા. પહેલું રિસ્ક છે કે આજે 10 વર્ષ સુધી આપણે જોયું કે એનડીએની ગવર્મેન્ટ, એટલે બીજેપીની ગવર્મેન્ટ ફૂલ મેજોરિટીમાં હતી. અને આજે આપણે જોઈએ છે તો દેર ઇઝ અ કોએલિશન પાર્ટનર, ઓલ્સો ઇક્વલી સ્ટ્રોંગ કોએલિશન, સ્ટ્રોંગ ઓપોઝિશન. આજે ઓપોઝિશનમાં પહેલા ઓપોઝિશન લીડર નહોતો, હવે ઓપોઝિશનમાં લીડર છે. અને દેટ કેન બી વન રિસ્ક ઓલ્સો, એન્ડ દેટ કેન બી વન ઓપોર્ચ્યુનિટી ઓલ્સો. હવે આપણે કેવી રીતે જોઈએ? ઓપોર્ચ્યુનિટી એટલા માટે છે કે આપણે આંધળી દોડમાં કામ નહીં કરી, આપણે બધાને કન્સેન્સસ લઈને બિલ્ડ કરવું પડશે, વિચ ઓલ્સો વરીસમ, બીકોઝ કન્સેન્સસમાં ઘણીવાર કામ ન થાય, કમિટીઝ ઘણીવાર કામ ન કરે. ખાલી વાતો કરે ને સમોસા ને કોફી ખાય પીએ. તો મને એવું લાગે છે કે વેરી ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ પોઈન્ટ હિયર કે કોએલિશન ગવર્મેન્ટ અને સ્ટ્રોંગ ઓપોઝિશન કેન બી one detrimental to the speed of the economic growth can happen. It has happened in past, it can happen now. બીજું જે છે મારા હિસાબે સૌથી વધારે ડિફિકલ્ટ કામ છે આપણા નેબર્સ. આપણી નેબરિંગ કન્ટ્રી એક તો કાં ફિનાન્શિયલી બહુ ડિફિકલ્ટ સિચ્યુએશનમાં છે, કાં ફાઇટિંગ મોડમાં છે. એટલે બંને ચીજો આપણા માટે ડેન્જરસ છે. તો નેબર્સ આર નોટ ગુડ ફોર અસ રાઇટ નાઉ. નેબર્સ આર અનફોર્ચ્યુનેટલી બધા જ નેબર્સ સાથે આપણે કંઈ પ્રોબ્લેમ છે, નાનો મોટો જે કહીએ તો બારિંગ એક કે બે નાના નેશન્સ છે. તો દેટ ઇઝ વેરી વેરી રિસ્કી. ત્રીજું જે રિસ્ક છે ઇઝ અ જીઓપોલિટિકલ સિચ્યુએશન ઓફ ધ વર્લ્ડ વિચ આઈ એમ વેરી વેરી વરીડ અબાઉટ. જે મારો સૌથી મોટો રિસ્ક છે કે આપણે જોયું કે 1942 પછી, જે સેકન્ડ વર્લ્ડ વોર પત્યા પછી, એ ટાઈમ પછી ઇન્ડિયા અત્યારે વર્લ્ડમાં હાઈએસ્ટ નંબર ઓફ નેશન્સ વોરમાં છે. લગભગ 35 nations in the world are directly or indirectly involved in some kind of war. ક્યાંક સોમાલિયામાં ચાલે છે, ક્યાંક તમારે બાંગ્લાદેશમાં પ્રોબ્લેમ ચાલે છે, ક્યાં યુકેમાં પ્રોબ્લેમ ચાલે છે, ક્યાં યુક્રેન અને રશિયાની મારામારી ચાલે છે, ક્યાં ઈરાન અને લેબનોન ઘૂસી ગયા છે, પેલેસ્ટાઇન અને ઇઝરાયલમાં. એટલે there are 35 nations are involved in the war. હવે આ સિચ્યુએશનમાં equity market cannot perform in my view. So that is a big risk which world is taking, which can not only hurt demand, but it can actually disrupt the supply chain of the world. હું ઘણીવાર ફ્રેટ રેટ જે હોય છે, ગ્લોબલ શિપિંગ રેટ્સ, ગ્લોબલ ફ્રેટ રેટ ટ્રેક કરું છું, જેમાં હું જોઉં છું કે ઘણી મોટી વોલેટેડ છે. ક્યારેક રેટ બહુ નીચે નોઝ થઈ જાય છે અને ક્યારેક રેટ બહુ સ્પીડીલી ઉપર જાય છે, જે બહુ મોટું વરીસમ ફેક્ટર છે મારા હિસાબે. એટલે એ ફેક્ટર આપણે જોવું પડશે કે હાઉ વર્લ્ડ જીઓપોલિટિકલ સિચ્યુએશન પ્લેઝ આઉટ ગોઈંગ ફોરવર્ડ. દેટ ઇઝ ગોઈંગ ટુ બી વેરી વેરી ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ. અને લાસ્ટ સૌથી મોટું રિસ્ક જે મારા હિસાબે છે, અગેન વર્લ્ડથી આવે છે, ઇન્ડિયાથી નથી આવતું, ઈ સ્લોઈંગ ડાઉન ધ વર્લ્ડ. આજે વર્લ્ડમાં મોસ્ટ કન્ટ્રીઝ, યુરોપમાં જાઓ તમે, કેનેડામાં જાઓ, જાપાનમાં જાઓ, યુકે, દે આર ઓલ ઇન રિસેશન. They are actually in recession. The only countries which are doing well in the world right now and which is likely to do well in the next 10-15 years is India, USA, and Mexico. I'm talking about large countries, not a small country. So USA and Mexico, બંને brother sister છે, they both are going to do well because the USA is a mother of the demographic recycling. અને એ લોકો કર્યા કરશે. અને US is, as I told you, is most innovative country. Their per capita is very high. They are domestic driven economy, so they will do well. India will do well because India again domestic driven છે, self sufficient છે, અને relatively બધા સાથે relationship globally they've kept maintained. So India will have their own cake, pie of the cake. So I think India will do well. And Mexico being a American sister and the neighboring country of the America, so a lot of outsourcing actually shifting from China to Mexico, Peru, Chile. Not so much in India yet. But India no time આવશે જેમાં આપણને વધારે outsourcing થશે. So that countries will do well. તો આ બધા ચીજો જોવાની છે, કારણ કે this can hurt commodities, this can hurt supply chain, this can hurt demand globally. આજે જ આપણે જોઈએ છે ઇન્ડિયામાં કેમિકલ સેક્ટરમાં કે સ્ટીલ અને મેટલ સેક્ટરમાં આપણે જોઈ રહ્યા છીએ કે જ્યાં ડિમાન્ડ ગ્લોબલી વીક છે, જેના લીધે ઇન્ડિયન કંપનીઓને ઘણો બધો ઇમ્પેક્ટ પડી રહ્યો છે. So I'll summarize this point કે India will do well with the 7-8% GDP growth over the next 10-15 years. ઓવરઓલ અર્નિંગ્સ ગ્રોથ ઇન્ડિયાનો 14-18% વચ્ચે રહેશે મોટી કંપનીઓનો, અને વિચ ઇઝ ગુડ ટુ ઇન્ડિયા ટુ ડુ વેલ. મારા હિસાબે આપણે છેલ્લા 25 વર્ષમાં ઇન્ડિયાનો કેગર કેપિટલ માર્કેટનો 15% છે. આવતા કદાચ 15 વર્ષમાં આ કેગર 15-18% વચ્ચે રહેશે. સો આઈ થિંક વી આર in a good times, good safe time. There can be some kind of disruption, some kind of correction when there is a overvaluation happen and when there is a global mishap happens. But overall, we are on a good highway and we will do very well going forward. So that's my summary about the India. હવે ઇન્ડિયામાં એક ક્વેશ્ચન છે કે શું રમવાનું, શું લેવાનું, what is a good thing to do in India, what are the good sectors, good stocks to do in India. So મારા સાહેબ 4 broad focus area છે, જે એકમાં તમને મેં કીધું demand driven areas, consumption, under penetration, whether it's automobile, electronics, cement, under penetration area will do very well. That is the one sector which I already talked about. બીજું સેક્ટર જે સારું કરશે એ ફિનાન્શિયલાઇઝેશન છે, જેમાં હું બે બ્રેકઅપ કરીશ. એક છે ક્રેડિટ ગ્રોથ, બેન્કિંગ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી, એનબીએફસી ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી વિલ ડુ વેરી વેલ. સેકન્ડ પોર્શન છે જે કેપિટલ માર્કેટનું ફિનાન્શિયલાઇઝેશન છે, દેટ વિલ ડુ વેરી વેલ. સો હું ઘણા બધા સેમિનારમાં પહેલા પણ બોલું છું ઘણા વર્ષોથી કે ઇન્ડિયામાં અમુક એરિયાઝ છે, એક્સચેન્જીસ છે, ડિપોઝિટરી છે, બ્રોકિંગ ફર્મ્સ છે, મ્યુચ્યુઅલ ફંડ છે, ઇન્સ્યોરન્સ કંપની છે, will do extremely well for next 10-15 years. So that's the one theme to play out. કારણ કે જેટલા લોકો વધારે વધારે કેપિટલ માર્કેટમાં આવશે, હજી પણ આટલું બધું કેપિટલ માર્કેટનો ગ્રોથ થયા પછી પણ ઇન્ડિયાનું પેનિટ્રેશન હજી પણ 8-7 છે. આપણું ફાઇનાન્શિયલ સેવિંગ હજી 7-8 જ ખાલી ઇન્ડિયામાં એક્વિટીમાં આવે છે. હજી પણ આપણી પાસે ખાલી 4% લોકો યુનિક એક્વિટીમાં ઇન્વેસ્ટ કરે છે. દેટ નંબર કેન ઇઝીલી ગો ટુ 20-30%. તો ઘણી મોટી ઓપોર્ચ્યુનિટી એમાં છે. ત્રીજું છે મેન્યુફેક્ચરિંગ અને કેપેક્સ. ઇન્ડિયા ધીરે ધીરે આપણે જોયું છેલ્લા કોવિડ પછી પર્ટિક્યુલરલી, અને કોવિડ પહેલા પણ મને યાદ છે મિસ્ટર મોદી વોઝ ઓલવેઝ સેલિંગ દેટ વી શુડ હેવ સેલ્ફ સફિશિયન્સી, મેક ઇન ઇન્ડિયા, બટ વી ડિડન્ટ ફોકસ ઓન દેટ અનફોર્ચ્યુનેટલી. પણ કોવિડ પછી એક રિયલાઇઝેશન બધાને થઈ ગયું કે નહીં, આપણે વી હેવ ટુ બી સેલ્ફ સફિશિયન્ટ, એન્ડ ઇન્ડિયા હેઝ ડન અ વેરી ગુડ જોબ in many areas, whether it's a defense manufacturing, mobile manufacturing, electronics manufacturing, chemical side of it. So I think India has a big opportunity in manufacturing, which will drive the capex sector also. હમણાં કેપેક્સના સ્ટોક્સ થોડા મોંઘા છે, ડિફેન્સના સ્ટોક થોડા મોંઘા છે. So I believe there can be a correction, or there can be a time correction or price correction, but mostly the sectors will do well. અને સૌથી સારું ઇન્ડિયામાં શું થયું છે મેન્યુફેક્ચરિંગ માટે, અગેન આઈ ગીવ ક્રેડિટ ટુ ધી મોદી ગવર્મેન્ટ. એક, એ લોકોએ ઘણું પુશ કર્યું ઓન મેક ઇન ઇન્ડિયા. સેકન્ડ, દે બ્રોટ PLI, which is actually very useful for the putting a factory, because there's no incentive previously for the people to put factory. So put a factory and manufacture locally. Third, they also cut the corporate tax rate. And many of you are CEO or tax consultant, you know that how much corporate tax in India is. And on a brownfield, this is much cheaper. So આપણા individual tax rate ઘણા આગળ છે, પણ corporate tax rate ઘણા નીચે છે. That is a big benefit to the corporate, to lure corporate to come into the capex and manufacturing. So I think capex manufacturing is a third important thing which will do very well. Fourth, મારા હિસાબે છે housing and housing related activity. કારણ કે ઇન્ડિયામાં હજી પણ housing is a big issue, big worry. Not only from the point of view of urbanization, also from the point of view people are so many people are homeless, or they are living in a old type house or kacha house and all that. So I think there's opportunity on housing side which will benefit finance companies on housing side, which will benefit cement, the ancillary like plywoods or ceramics. So you can actually play the whole thing depending upon what you want to play, and also the real estate companies to some extent. So I think this is one more thing which will do very well. Coming to the SIP flows, a lot of people ask me SIP flows and SIP flows not શું થઈ રહ્યું છે. I think Indians have just started looking at equity market in a serious manner. The young population also seeing that they cannot keep money in FD, which is a tax heavy and also doesn't generate even inflation return. So people have started moving towards the equity market. There's a flow of IPO, the good amount of SIP is coming up. Almost 23,000 crore product પહોંચી ગયા છે. Of course, these figures are gross figure. The net figures are half of it, but still they are very, very healthy numbers. મને યાદ છે when I was a CIO for Birla Insurance, એક વર્ષમાં ઘોરાઓએ ત્યારે લગભગ અંદાજે 70,000 કરોડનો માલ વેચેલો, 70,000 કરોડ, અને આપણી ઇન્ડેક્સ અડધી થઈ ગઈ. અત્યારે પણ ઘોરા એટલો જ માલ વેચ્યો છે છેલ્લા 2-2 વર્ષમાં, પણ આપણી ઇન્ડેક્સ ઉપર ગઈ છે. એનું કારણ છે કે ડોમેસ્ટિક ફ્લોઝ ઇન્ડિયામાં બહુ સ્ટ્રોંગ છે, અને એ આઈ થિંક મોટી તાકાત છે ઇન્ડિયાની અત્યારે, જે બેનિફિટ થયા કરશે. અમે પેલા ચેટમાં પ્રતિબેન વાત કરતા હતા કે એફએનઓમાં government is worried, SEBI is worried, which is very, very good, important. કારણ કે 97-96% of people lose money in FNO, અને બધાને જલ્દી કમાઈ લેવું છે, બધાને સવારે ટ્રેડિંગ કરીને સાંજે મર્સિડીઝ માટે લોન માટે એપ્લાય કરવું છે, મર્સિડીઝ લેવી છે. So that is also reason why I think FNO is getting little riskier, but overall ઇન્વેસ્ટર માટે સારો પીરિયડ છે, સારો ટાઈમ છે આગળ જતા, મારું માનવું છે. બીજા પોઈન્ટમાં હું એટલું કહીશ કે I always say laughingly to people, I'll finish in next 3-4 minutes, then I'll open for the question answer. I always tell laughingly, I'll leave 2-3 my mantras for you. સૌથી મોટું, if you work for money, then you will pay 40% tax or 35% tax. If money works for you, then you pay, I always say 12%, because long term ત્યારે 12 હતું સેસ સાથે, હવે 14 થઈ ગયું છે, so 14%. Still 35% and 14% is a big gap. So you should not work for money, let money work for you. That's the first thing. Second, I always say, and I'm a very big fan of art. I do collect a lot of art and art things. So I always say, investor has to be like artist or a farmer. So why farmer? Because he has to saw the mango tree, or he has to saw any tree which he want to grow, and then wait for it. So that's a farming. And second, I always say investors should be like artists. તમે 40 આર્ટ એક્ઝિબિશનમાં જાઓ, તમે 40 આર્ટના અલગ અલગ પીસ જો, તમે એમાંથી કદાચ એક ઉપાડો કે એક પણ ન ઉપાડો, અને એવી રીતે તમે 2-3 એક્ઝિબિશનમાંથી એક ઉપાડો, તો you have to see many companies, you have to see many ideas, but you have to spend a lot of time on working towards that idea before you invest into stocks. So I think that is a very, very important mantra from my side. Last 2 points. I always believe ગમે એટલી bull market હોય equity આપણે આપણા પૈસાથી જ કામ કરવાનું, બોરિંગ કરીને કામ નહીં કરવાનું. Equity is a spare money income generation area. One thing, unless you are full time investor or full time equity guy, તો હું માનું છું કે તમે કદાચ તમને લિવરેજ કરો તમે કરી શકો છો, પણ હું તો એ પણ નથી કરતો. અને સેકન્ડ, અસેટ એલોકેશન તમારું હંમેશા રાઈટ હોવું જોઈએ, ગમે એટલી બુલ માર્કેટ હોય. આપણે આપણા એજ, આપણે રિસ્ક પ્રોફાઇલ, આપણી કન્ડિશન જોઈને એસેટ લોકેશન કરવું જોઈએ. અત્યારે તો મારે બોલવું નથી, કારણ કે ઇન્ડિયા અત્યારે વધારે રિસ્ક એવર્સ છે, પણ ઇવન જે લોકો રિસ્ક લઈ રહ્યા છે એ લોકોએ પણ બહુ ધ્યાન રાખવું જોઈએ કે અસેટ લોકેશન શુડ બી વેરી વેરી બેલેન્સ, વિચ શુડ નોટ ટ્રબલ યુ ઇન અ ડિફિકલ્ટ ટાઈમ. અને આઈ એન્ડ માય સેશન વિથ લાસ્ટ થિંગ વિચ આઈ સેડ, કે હું એક ટીપ આપીને જઈશ. તો હું મસ્તીમાં બધાને કહું છું કે બાય નિફ્ટી, it will become Sensex in next 5 years. So with that, I'll end my session here, and I'll be very happy to take any Q&A, any questions, and I'll happy to answer, except the stock specific ideas. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vikram bhai, for your valuable input 6Gs અને જે risk તમે કીધા છે for India કે જે future markets ને related આપણે શું ધ્યાન રાખવું જોઈએ, ક્યાં invest, કઈ field માં invest કરવા જોઈએ. So thank you very much for your valuable inputs. So જ્યાં સુધી આપણે બધાના question answer આવે chat box પર, so let me introduce our second speaker, CA Preeti Savla. So she is a Central Council member of ICAI, first Social Auditor of India. She is representing India at International Sustainability Standard Board, governing board members of BCE Stock Exchange. And she is independent directors at various companies like NSE Clearing, Sun Pharma Limited, IRB Info, Informative Development, Epcotex Industries, ITI Mutual Fund Trustees, SI Kriva Capital Market, and she is a partner in KPB and Associates. So she was a chairperson at WRC during the 2019-20. She is currently chairing Women Members Excellent Committee, and she is instrumental in bringing ICI Call Sahayata, which has responded 13 lakhs calls successfully to members and students in 18 months only. And she has received various awards. So managing along with the family and office, she is always available, and anytime, just you have to call her and she is answer your all the calls. So now she's standing for the Central Council election, and it's our responsibility to ensure that we make her win with thumping majority. So I would request, please give your first preference vote in her favor and give your reference list and convey to your all the CA friends. So now I will request our SVGA past president, CA Praveen Bhai Gala, to share his thoughts.
Hello, everyone. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Vikram bhai. It was a fantastic, very short but very fantastic speech, and you covered India we feel proud about India, kind of. So thank you very much. Talking about the forthcoming election, it is our duty that there are two members from our own community, Ketan Sayya and Jinal Savla, who are going to represent in WIRC, and Preeti Ben is going to be representing Central Council. So as a member of CA community, and it is our duty that we cast our first vote, and we see to it they win the election with thumping majority. Preeti Ben has done a lot of work for the entire profession, and I see she's so hardworking and always traveling and running here and there. And I mean, I really feel proud about it, and I'm very closely knows her, and the kind of work she has done for the community as well as the institute and the CA fraternity is fantastic. So I will request all the members that as usual, let us give our first preference vote to all the members who are contesting from our community. Thank you very much, and let us Preeti, Parul, please take it over.
So I will request Preeti Savla to just say a two-line words.
First of all, let me thank SVGA for always supporting and wholehearted support. And this year also, my humble request to give your first preference vote in our favor. I would say it is not me, it is we who are contesting the election. I'm just a representative as a Preeti Savla, as a Central Council member. The election dates are 6th and 7th December, and the booths are already we will be communicating to all of you, and we request you to please go for voting and give your first preference vote in our favor. And we have our session after the question answer for the opportunities for chartered accountants. So we'll interact further later after the question answer by Vikram Bhai. And I also thank Vikram Bhai for taking this session and coming over here in this busy schedule. So thank you very much.
So I will request Mayur Nisar to please take one by one questions.
Yeah, so there are a few questions which have come on the YouTube and on the other chats as well. So Vikram bhai, you want me to read out the questions and then you will take it up, or?
Yeah, I'll be happy to take that if you can do that.
Okay, all right. So the first question which has come is that whether current market euphoria will continue at the same speed. I guess you've answered, but in case you want to briefly touch it again.
Yeah, so I think that's a very good question. So it cannot happen, right? So આપણે કહીએ ને કે જેટલું ખાઈએ એટલું જે આપણે એટલું જ ખાવું જોઈએ આપણે પચી શકે. તો અત્યારે યુફોરિયા થોડું હાઈ છે. એનું કારણ એ પણ છે કે બીજે ક્યાંય વર્લ્ડમાં ઓપોર્ચ્યુનિટીઝ છે ને બધાને અહીંયા પૈસા નાખવા છે. બટ ધ સ્પીડ વિચ વી આર ગોઈંગ ઇઝ લિટલ બિટ ઓફ વરીસમ. તો આપણે અત્યારે 80ની સ્પીડના હાઈવેમાં આપણે 115-20 પર ભાગી રહ્યા છે. તો કદાચ એના માટે એનો ઇલાજ એ જ છે કે કદાચ કરેક્શન આવે અને કદાચ ટાઈમ કરેક્શન આવે. પણ જે 10-15 વર્ષની સ્ટોરી છે ઇન્ડિયાની, એમાં મને લાગતું નથી કોઈ બ્રેકેજ છે. એટલે કદાચ માર્કેટમાં કેવું થાય કે માર્કેટ આર પ્લેઝ ઇન સાયકલ. માર્કેટ ડોન્ટ ઓપરેટ ધ વે વી વોન્ટ. આપણે જ્યારે કહીએ 18% કેગર, તો 18% કેગર ન થાય. એ ઘણીવાર 30% વધે, પછી 10% ઘટે, પાછું 30% વધે. તો માર્કેટ ઓપરેટ્સ ઇન સાયકલ. સો વેન the cycles goes overboard, which is slightly happening now, then the market, rest of the period, market will course correct it. So it will come to mean reversal. So that can happen in Indian market in some time. So if you have investing with a 5-7 year view, it's a great time to invest on any day. But if you think, Vikram, I want to time it and I want to invest now, then possibly you can do in tranches.
Yeah, fair point. Next question is, what is the correlation between performance of Indian equity markets and the global markets?
So that's a great question, but I think there's no correlation if you ask me. See, the fundamentals of different economies are actually very different. So I always say people that what Japan enjoyed in 1960s, we are not even knowing what is happening, right? Or what US is enjoying for many, many years. UK was having their own demographic cycle. Europe has seen a very beautiful demographic cycle. So they enjoyed that period. Now they're getting old. It's like our parents. Okay. So it's our time to enjoy. It can be only correlated in a time where we are over dependent on foreign flows, which I gave the example earlier. कि 2007-8 જે સિચ્યુએશન હતી લીમેન ક્રાઇસિસમાં, when I was CIO of Birla, ત્યારે ગોરાઓનું બહુ ડિપેન્ડન્સ હતું ઇન્ડિયા પર કે ગોરાઓ વેચે તો બજાર ઘટે અને ગોરાઓ લે તો બજાર વધે. That was the reality in that time. Today they become, actually, if you ask me, I don't say with a, I'll say with humility that they are not so relevant. I can say with the arrogance that they are not relevant, but they are not so relevant to India right now, in my view. Second, if you look at global market and someone who is really interested in studies, look at South Korea. South Korea is a market which is driven by domestic investors for many, many years. So there, when FIs are selling, retailers buy, the market goes up. Same thing is happening in India right now. So India has come to the age where we are saying that domestic investment cycle or domestic savings are so much flowing to financial side of the world that the dependency of correlation has come down. So correlation has become now more short-term than the long-term.
That was insightful. Many people in India do watch the foreign markets, but I think this...
You don't need to waste your time. You don't need to waste your time.
Okay. How do we justify 50-60% growth in the market over past 1.5 years?
So again, I think question on the first question line, I think this is part of the cycle. So when, આપણે કહે ને કે હું રહી ગયો, I also want to go and buy. So it's that kind of mentality also plays. But there are opportunities, and people are smart. I don't say Indian people are dumb. Indian people are 20-year back when scams were happening, and today the Indian investor community also has improved a lot. And I must say, thanks to the technology, I think technology and the number of channels, number of people who are educating the market, I think things have changed a lot. But I agree with you, these numbers cannot be sustained, and I'm fully in agreement with that. And that's why I'm saying कि आपने વધારે ખાઈ લીધું હોય તો પછી you have to wait for digest, you have to digest and then eat more later. So maybe we will go through the time cycle correction, or to some extent we can see some kind of correction happening in India. But as of now, the flow is so strong that you cannot do it. And let me correlate with the American market in 1995, 97, same thing happened, where the flows were so strong from domestic investors that market actually went overboard. Okay. And people like me who have spent 30 years in financial market, we really sometimes struggle to understand, like you also, why this is not stopping. But the reality is that the flow, that we are so underinvested, we are so underpenetrated in equity also, that people want to buy.
Moving on to next question. What are the common mistakes to be avoided by retail investors in the current market?
Oh, so investor, if you use the word investor, then I'll only talk about a lot of people become more trader. So normally I've seen that people say, okay, મારે લેવું છે 2 વર્ષ માટે, અને 10% તો વેચી નાખે. અને ટ્રેડર જે હોય એ કહે કે મારે સ્ટોપ લોસ કરીને વેચી નાખીશ, એ જો ભાવ નીચે જાય તો એ લોંગ ટર્મ ઇન્વેસ્ટર થઈ જાય. એટલે people shift their gears from long term to short term. But I'll say that one thing is very clear, that if you are investing directly in equity market yourself, then I believe this is it's like a sadhana, it's a worship. Okay, you have to really work hard to understand what you're investing, what are the financial, what are the other critical areas to do that, which is one way of looking at it. I always, in a young age, I always learn. I was always excited to go into capital market. I never did my, practice or something after CA. I always used to buy what I like. And I'll give you one example. So, for example, I bought my first Maruti 800. So the IPO of Maruti, I still own the shares, which I bought around IPO, some 165 rupees. Now it's some 13,000 rupees after many dividends and all that. So I think you should buy what you are using, what you are liking, what is the product which you are using it. So I think that is the easiest way to do it. But I'll say we have to go beyond that. We have to start analyzing. If you're investing directly into the market, don't rely on unfortunately, sorry to say, on the short-term operators or media, particularly which they talk about buy today, sell tomorrow and all that. I don't understand, not a big fan of that. So you do your own study. And if you don't understand this and your profession is a doctor or chartered accountant and you're busy with your work, I'll say go to mutual fund. I think they are doing a brilliant job at such a low cost. I think mutual fund or PMS, I think they are doing extremely good job. And I think Indian costs are not very high. The regulator has been very tight. I think mutual funds are a great place to really invest into the. If I'm a practitioner, see, I'll never come to market. I'll go and put my money in mutual fund. I'll focus on my work.
Good, so I can pinch myself.
No, if you're spending time, Mayurbhai, on that, and if you have the wherewithal or the time to spend on that, you should invest. Why you not should?
Sir, your views on venture capital, unlisted shares, and pre-IPO.
Oh, I'm actually very worried about that because right now I have seen a lot of unlisted shares and pre-shares. I'm very surprised, and Prithiben is here. I'll say that SEBI has to do something on that. It's not that the quality is bad, but people don't know how to do it, and there are no price mechanism. So I'll give you example of recently Swiggy. Someone is selling at 345, someone is buying at 400 on the same day. That's not fair. So I think that's a very difficult market, if you ask me. If you excel listed market, it's a great thing. Private equity is very, you have to be extremely careful because there's so much data is not available. So many things are not available. You don't know valuation. You just know the price, and you just trade on that on someone's advice. I'll say unless you have the full wherewithal or full understanding of the private market, you can go and invest there. Putting into private equity fund is a good idea because there are professional managers who actually kind of manages that. But again, you have to be very selective on that. You have to do your, I can say, do your homework and do that. I'm actually, I'm not averse to it, but I'm very skeptical about quality of people, quality of pre-IPO, that unlisted area is I'm very skeptical about.
Sir, your views on electricity transmission sector.
Oh, I'm very bullish. I missed that actually, but yeah, it's a great opportunity. See, Indians are growing in terms of income. Young guys are getting, nuclear families, more houses to be built, more power to be used, more gadgets to be used. I think power consumption in India is going to go further up. I think we are growing at 8-9% a year, and I think these numbers can actually go further up. So I think power sector, transmission sector will do extremely well. There are very few companies, unfortunately, in that sector, but that's a great sector to be in.
One question on Pakistan actually. Pakistan economy is in shambles and still the Karachi stock index is around 80,000. What could be the logic?
There's so many countries in the world where the indexes are all-time high. You look at NASDAQ or US or Italy, so many countries are all-time high index. But that's the nature of the markets. Even if you're growing at 2% GDP, right? The next year that GDP will be higher than last year, right? So it's always going to be all-time. So if someone says that India will become third biggest economy in the world, it is given because we have 140 crore population now. Canada cannot produce more people, so we are going to go up. So it is nothing to do with the numbers. Are just just you have to leave the number. You have to look at a CAGR, that how Pakistan has grown in last 20 years. I believe the Pakistan exchange growth, equity growth is 6%, and India is 17, 16, 17%. That difference has been very, very clear.
All stocks are up right now. How do we book profits in such a situation?
I always believe the smartest guy in this world who takes the money home. That's my personal view. Very difficult to follow this advice. It's a great advice to be there, but I think very few people follow. All stocks are up. That's a great time to sell because you made your money. Let others enjoy the party if you want to do that. But as I always say, that asset allocation is very important, and when you do right asset allocation, that's why you want to sell. If you're over leverage or if you're over towards equity, then you might want to sell. But if you're saying that, say, I'm 52, I believe my 50% should be my equity allocation, 50 should be my rental yields and bonds and mutual fund on debt side or FD. If I'm allocated on that ratio, I don't want to change my allocation unless I get more old. At 60, I may want to go to 40% allocation. So if you asset allocation wise, you're right, then you should not book profit. You continue what you're doing. If you're over leveraged or if you're over bought on the equity and you have made a lot of money, I think leave it further on the table. Give back.
We may take the last question for the day. How should investors prepare for potential downturns or corrections in the market?
Oh, I think the best time for people, like I always believe the corrections are best time for me because you get your stocks at your price. So in fact, the best way to prepare for correction is having enough liquidity on a hand. And that's how the asset allocation again plays a very important role. That if you have, so like I keep 20% in FD, honestly. People will laugh, but I do that. That is not for keeping FD. I don't enjoy FD. I get 4% tax-free return on that, right? But it's to prepare for the bad day, on a heyday when the things are bad, like COVID, right? I was the very luckiest person to have 30-40% in FD, and I bought a lot of things at an unreasonable price, despite the companies are great and you're available at a very, very throwaway price. So best way to prepare for liquidity, for difficult times of the market. I'll relate to earlier question, book profit. Keep your money in the short-term mutual fund or that liquid fund or FD, depend upon what instrument you like, and buy when you get a chance to buy. When everyone is selling, right? Like Buffett always says that everyone is selling, you should be there to buy. That's the best way to prepare.
So fabulous. So the feeling was such that watching CNN, BBC, and all things together. So this is nice.
So I will request now Preeti Savla to take our second topic, like opportunities for the CA.
Okay, thank you, Parul, and thank you, Vikram Bhai. Speaking after Vikram Bhai is really a task, but let us have this session very, very interactive, and let me give some thoughts on the newer developed areas. I'm not going to speak on everything all about IBC or valuation, which everyone is aware about, but let us dwell into something really different and what comes on the way. So I was interacting with SBI immediate past chairman, and he was sharing that we are a technology company and we do banking. Similarly, when I said in the board on the boards of NCL and NSE MD, Mr. Ashish Shawn, was saying that technology is like even a second, even a difference of a second or a delay of a 1 second in any transaction creates a huge kiosk. And then actually SEBI is like very much into that, and huge penalties have been levied. So the technology plays very important role for the transactions. Everyone is aware. If we do not do the transaction immediately in the capital markets within a time, whether it is taking the uh, uh, stocks or anything. So technology. Similarly, the technology is playing important role in all the businesses. And as Vikram Bhai has rightly said, after the COVID, this disruption has happened. So everyone is sitting in the office or at home, just calling Zomato and ordering the food, or anywhere, everywhere. The technology is actually taking a huge shape. Similarly, the profession is also not much far. So the newer days, the SEBI chairperson has said, when we interact with her since last couple of years, so I don't want your sample audit. I want 100% audit and verification and the vouching to be done. So we always interact how it is possible to do the 100% of verification and checking. But then also she has insisted the same. And accordingly, the institute has also prepared some tools and some formats where we can do 100% of checking. And this tools and technology is also playing very important role. And friends, that's why I'm saying we have to imbibe technology. Whether again in departments also have started faceless hearings, or everything is online, and we are facing issue not for the act or any clauses. We are facing issue only because of the technology. And I am giving all these examples to convey to all of you that if we have the importance or understand the importance of technology, and we imbibe the technology in our profession, whether in practice or industry, so then only we will be able to survive. I am saying the word survive. Over a period of next 10 years, again, a lot more technology is going to come at advanced level. And friends, it is a high time that we should use the technology in our profession to excel in the profession. And that is the importance, and that is the opportunity. Because right now, very few small, medium practitioners are actually having the technology in their office. We have started this GPT, CA GPT tool. Hope all of you must have downloaded that. So all the formats of engagement letters or standards on auditing and whatever relating to our profession, it is all are away just a click of button. So with this, I am recommending you all of you to have the technology in the and develop a model or the practice in such a way with the technology one can practice and do the wonders. Again, now the next topic in opportunity is, which is very, very dear to my heart, is about the sustainability. Friends, I've been given this opportunity by the Institute to chair this committee, Sustainability Reporting Standard Board, as a vice chairperson during the first year of my tenure, and second year I was been given the charge to chair this committee. And friends, let me share with all of you that I was not knowing anything about the sustainability. But the first work, what I have done, I was being given in the committee meeting, in the board meeting, was to respond to the circular and the white paper which was issued by SEBI on the sustainability. And the timeline was 48 hours. And I took about 4 to 5 hours early morning 5 to 9, read that paper twice and made my comments. And after discussing with the chairman and other special invitees, we responded to SEBI. And what was it all about? It was about the ESG rating, ESG reporting, the sustainability. And at that time, we have mentioned in our feedback that this area should be open to chartered accountants. And friends, after that, we have done a lot of work with the SEBI. And what are the opportunities in that? It is when now we are seeing everything, when we are seeing the capital market, everyone is either trading or investing in the capital market. And as a chartered accountant, the first thing what we see is about the profit, whether the company is a profit making, and who are the KMPs, and balance sheet is strong, how much is the borrowing. But sustainability is all about non-financial areas, that is ESG, environment, social, and governance. We have done surveys, and it has been said by the investors and venture capitalists that this non-financial reporting is also important. And now that is what is opportunity. 2 years back, now it has from 1/4/2022, it is mandatory for top 1,000 listed companies to have this BRSR, that is business responsibility and sustainability reporting. So if you see the annual report of any company, you will find this BRSR is also there. A lot of companies are also doing even voluntarily, even if mandatorily it is not applicable. Again, the assurance is also mandatory for this BRSR, and India is the first country to have this assurance mandatory, which a chartered accountant also can do the BRSR assurance. It is also again mandatory for top 1,000 listed companies on a glide path method over the next 4 years. It has been mandatory from April 2023. So 23-24 was the first year. Again, we all will think we are not doing the audit of any listed companies, and how it matters that it is opportunity for us. But here I would share with all of you two things. One is it is not necessary that we are the auditor, but it can be done by us even if we are not the auditor for the listed company. And other is that now this area, now value chain is also mandatory by the SEBI. What is value chain? Value chain is if any supplier is there, is supplying to this listed companies, say this 1,000 listed companies. Now that supplier also should be ESG compliant. So now this can be small and medium companies, SMEs also, or it can be large companies, mid-sized companies. These are our clients, and it is mandatory for them to have this ESG compliant. So now in that case also, friends, I would share that it is mandatory who are our clients. They have to comply with. There are 145 points, clauses, which are required to be reported. Certain points are mandatory and certain points are voluntary to report. And this can be done by chartered accountant, and that is a very good area and the opportunities. And companies are paying lakhs of rupees for this reporting, because it is regulatory requirement by mainly by our honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has signed in Paris at Glasgow conference COP26 in Paris, this agreement that India will become carbon neutral by 2070, and for that by 2030 that Panchamrut to be followed. And accordingly, the regulatory requirements have come, and it is mandatory to be followed, and all this reporting requirement has come up. So this is only one part as a reporting. But now for compliance of ESG, what is the meaning of ESG? That is environment, social, and governance. So if we go into the environment, so now when there is a emission, CO2, carbon dioxide emission is there. So India wants that the oxygen, the carbon dioxide, oxygen should be is equal to oxygen. So CO2 should be equal to, right now we are the third largest country which are having this CO2 more emission. And that's why when we are seeing this solar power or water power and other consumptions, other natural resources consumptions are increasing day by day. The shares of these kind of companies are also value is increasing because more consumption of this solar installation of solar is happening, and this water treatment plant is happening. The companies are switching over to automated machines and automated things, and no paperless offices are happening, and this all are coming in environment part. The social part is all about how many employees, whether all the employees are being trained properly and they are paid properly. Gender equality, how many female employees are there, who are the KMPs, how many female so these all human rights, labor laws, everything is complied, and this vertical is comes into social and governance, whether all laws, rules, regulatories are being complied with, and which we are actually dealing as a chartered accountant day in and day out. So these, if we actually learn into this is not at all complicated, and we can upgrade our knowledge and have expertise in this area and develop a good practice into the sustainability and ESG. Again, the carbon credits, the purchase, the new laws will be coming very soon for the purchase of the carbon credits, trading in carbon credits, which is already there in other parts of the world. So, friends, just think about it. We can discuss more about this ESG reporting right now in other countries, and even in India, other reporting like GRI or TCFD is also there for sustainability. One new concept which is also there, that is all about social stock exchange and social audits. Again, we all, as a chartered accountant, are connected with charitable trust and NGOs as either as a treasurer or as a chairman or secretary or committee member, or as an auditor or their consultant, like formation of Section 8 company or charitable trust or society for doing the charitable activities. So this new concept has been announced by Finance Minister during the year 2019 budget. However, nothing has happened, and last to last year, all the activities has been started, and I got opportunity to interact with SEBI on that. And friends, we have drafted code of ethics for social audits. So what is this social audit? It is a non-financial audit. Now, for example, if Chetan Bhai gives some donation to Shantilal Bhai, say Shantilal Bhai is running some school in some Adivasi or rural areas, and is going to Chetan Bhai ki I want to have some good work and requiring some donation for certain children. And because Chetan Bhai knows Shantilal Bhai, he is saying ki one student 1 year the donation amount is 25,000, and Chetan Bhai gives, say, adopting two children and giving the donation for 50,000 to Shantilal Bhai, because he knows if I am giving donation. See, by heart in India, all the people are like having want to do good work, charitable work, and ensure that we are contributing to the society. But because Chetan Bhai knows Shantilal Bhai, and if he feels that if he gives donation to Shantilal Bhai, then it will be really work well, and the funds will be utilized for the purpose for which it is actually been given. So like that, it is now on a friendly basis, these donations are being taken and given in India at present. However, the report, non-financial report, which child has taken education and how it is. So all this comes in the in social audit. And a fundraising. So Shantilal Bhai knows Chetan Bhai or Mayur Bhai or Praveen Bhai, he will go to them, right, and raise the donation. However, he is doing such a good work, but his area is limited to get the donation. But now with this concept of social stock exchange, his school, his charitable trust under which his school is there, where he will be able to register and list on social stock exchange, which is under NSE as well as BSE. There are very basic necessity for registration and listing of your trust on social stock exchange, and once it has been listed, then he will be able to raise the funds from the public at large, from various people, because his balance sheet, his financials will be there on the website, his website, trust website, as well as on the social stock exchange. He can raise, like in IPO, it is been raised for the companies. It is raised by through IPO. The shares are amount is raised through IPO. Here he can issue the ZCZP, that is zero coupon, zero principal instruments, and he can raise the funds for this charitable activities. While raising this amount, and this instruments are as good as donation amount. These are non-refundable, non-transferable, and it can be taken, raised either for his one entire school, entire trust activities, or for particular project. If Shantilal Bhai is feeling that it can be used, like for he wants to have a new school and the new project, it can be raised for that particular project also. And one more opportunity means, this is like having this social supporting the NPOs for registration and listing on a social stock exchange, supporting them to raise the funds. These all are the opportunity. And again, when we have also suggested and SEBI has agreed, there should not be any merchant banker in this activity, so it is not there. So more opportunity to chartered accountants. Again, the audit, non-financial audit, which is called a social audit or impact assessment, is mandatory for all these NPOs. And again, we have initiated this Institute of Social Auditors of India, which is 100% subsidiary of ICAI, who is regulating this social audits. There are 600 social auditors at present. One has to give the exam of NISM, and once it is a 2 hours exam, online exam, we have to go to the center, we have to give this online exam, and once you clear, you can enroll as a social auditor, and this social auditor can do this social audit of all these NGOs which are listed on social stock exchange. At present, about 100 NPOs, trust, Section 8 companies are already registered on social stock exchange of BSE or NSE. I am also the governing board member of social stock exchange of BSE, and we have actually supported BSE and SEBI to draft all these formats for raising these funds and documentation. Their support has been given by us only. So this is a great opportunity area, and which I thought, let me share with all of you. And I was being given 15 minutes to share this opportunity. So I thought, let me speak about certain things on technology, sustainability, social stock exchange, and social audit. We can discuss more later on and interact more. If you have any questions, we can take it up in next 2 to 5 minutes about this, anything relating to these areas or social stock or institute also. So friends, with these words, I really thank SVGA for giving me this opportunity, and all my senior members and everyone to join this session and having this interaction and hearing me very patiently. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Preeti Ben. So superb and wonderful session and wonderful opportunities. So mane to થાય છે કે I should also switch from internal audit to the social audit or ESG audits. So
Yes.
let me introduce our the other two members, CA Ketan Bhai Damji Sayya. So who is also like a standing for the WRC election. So I will just short brief about him. So he is a managing partner at KDS and Company, elected regional council member of WRC of the ICAI for the year 22 to 25, and treasurer of WIRC from 23-24 year, and chairman of Vikasa 2022-23, chairman of many committees of WRC, and he is a regular speaker in seminars across India. and he has spoken in various public seminars on will and financial planning and philanthropic involvement. So I will say, like, Ketan bhai, just 2 minutes for your.
Thank you, Vagar Graduate Association and all dear friend Parul Ben, Chetan Bhai, Shanti Bhai, and all seniors of Vagar Graduate Association. Indeed, thankful to you for giving me this opportunity to meet and greet and talk to all of you. I have been in council thanks to all of you because of your valuable vote support given in 2021. I'm in council, and as rightly told by Parul, I headed in the first year the Vikasa chairmanship, did some activities, some newer activities for the student, so that their 360-degree development happens. I restarted certain concepts like placement program, the articles placement program, as well as the industrial trainee placement program, the mock test, the other 360-degree develop for the development of the student. Various competitions were hosted, and the NatCon, which was attended by more than 2,500 students at Yogi Sabhagraha, Mumbai, was the closing program of Vikasa. And in Vikasa, got Best Student Association Award in that particular year. In the year two, I was treasurer. Again, I was part of, being office bearer. I took a lot of initiative. Use of AI was extensively done in this particular year, and we've, everywhere tried and used. If you go to WRC's webpage, one example I'm just sharing, there are n number of example. So if you go to WRC's webpage, there's a chatbot available. Just go and say hi. If let's say Chetan Bhai goes and says hello, it will say hello Chetan Bhai, and what work you have with the WIRC. And moment you put some option, it will give you the instant feedbacks. So one of that option is to get the medical test done at the concessional rate. So moment you put it, it will ask you whether for you or family, for the family member. If for you, immediately a letter will come. If you say family member, it will ask you the name and relationship, and then the letter will come. So earlier it used to take so many days to get the letter. With this use of AI, the automated chatbot, now within a 2 minutes you will get the letter in your hand, and you can go and walk in, and simultaneously an email will go to the hospital saying that our member Chetan Chhadwa will be visiting for medical checkup. And this is there in Lilavati, Kokilaben, even Kokilaben, New Bombay. So not only this, lot of initiatives taken in the year two. So thank you so much again, and looking forward for similar support in 2024 election, which is going to happen in December. Thank you. Thank you. Over to you, Parul.
Yeah, thank you, Ketan bhai. So you have done wonderful work for our community and for the ICI students. Thank you so much. So now I will introduce CA Jinal Savla. She is a partner at Bhatia and Associates, and she has a working experience of more than 15 years in internal audit, consultancy, advising family business, and various other assignments. She was a CVO CA past president, like in the last year only, 23-24. And she's an independent director of Valiant Organic Limited, Aarti Pharma Labs Limited, and she's socially also very much active. So over to you, Jinal.
Thank you, Parul, for kind words. And yes, today I have a bad throat, so please excuse for that. Thank you, Shri Vagar Graduate Association, for this opportunity. Chetan Bhai, Shanti Bhai, and entire team. So friends, yes, about me, I am 2008 pass out. I've cleared my chartered accountancy in 2008, 2004 Narsi Monji batch. After that, I have done my law. Earlier, I was with Aneja Associates, presently with Bhatia Associates, and also on the board of listed companies. And yes, last year, I was the convener of Dadari CP Study Circle, and of course, first female president of CBO Chartered and Cost Accountants Association. And fortunately, I was a part of our Golden Jubilee celebration. And we did many first-time programs like CBO CA Entrepreneurship and Leadership Award, in which Parul and team, SVGA team, also helped us for nominations and all. And many other first-time programs we did. And not only that, in that year, it was the highest profit that we made at an association level also. And I look forward for your support. And Thank you. And I've taken inspiration from all my seniors for this WIRC candidature. So looking forward. Thank you.
So thank you, Preeti Ben. Thank you, Ketan Bhai. Thank you, Jinal, for all your valuable time and inputs. Thank you so much. So I will request each and every of our Vagar CAs to please give your first preference vote, and please circulate in your friends, circles, relatives to please vote. Thank you. Thank you so much. Jai
Thank-
Jinendra. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jai Jinendra.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you, Parul. Thank you, everyone.
Shanti Bhai, everyone, thank you so much. And we missing Hasmukh Bhai also. He is not well.
Yes. He's not well.
Yeah, so we are missing Hasmukh Bhai, right? Yeah, thank you.